Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. You might think, Danielle, you look weird. That's because I'm not wearing any makeup. I'm gonna try something new today. I do this on TikTok quite often, where I do like get readies with me while I talk, and I figured I wanted to make some content, so I might as well be productive and do both at the same time. I apologize. As usual, I'm doing laundry while I'm filming this video, so if you can hear my washing machine on spin cycle, I do apologize. Now let's go ahead and get into today's information topic, whatever I'm here to talk to you about. I don't know what I'm saying. Anyways, I received an anonymous email. Well, it was not anonymous to me, but it's anonymous to you. I ain't saying nothing. From an individual who wanted to talk to me about concerns about a friend of theirs who is involved in the coaching industry. And so what I thought would be interesting to do is to kind of dissect the email a little bit. I'm gonna read it to you. I'll put it up on the screen as well. But then also I went ahead and I searched examples of what this individual talks about in the email. So a lot of the context is about the cookie cutter copy paste coaching industry that we often talk about on this channel. And so I thought I would really demonstrate just how cookie cutter copy paste it really is by finding examples of the things that this individual talks about in the email. So without blabbering on too much, we're just going to jump right in and start reading the email from this viewer. So thank you so much for submitting this, by the way. If you are watching this video, I appreciate it. And if you are watching this video and you aren't this person, feel free to send me your scam stories if you want the opportunity to perhaps be featured on this channel. Hey Danielle, it's blah, blah, blah. I want to vent about my friend who has been brainwashed by the coaching industry cult, and hopefully you can get some content out of it. Just don't use my name, as I don't want her to feel publicly humiliated in case she comes across this. No problem. So, I'm honestly worried about her. She became a business coach a few years ago and is still struggling. She's a cookie cutter example of the kind of person in the industry, well-meaning, but way too little self-awareness. Most scammy coaches aren't malicious people cackling while looking for suckers to fleece. They're those heart-centered go-getters who are just a little too woo-woo and a little too grandiose for their own good. So I did want to talk about this because I thought that this was really interesting, and it's perhaps something I don't talk about a lot on this channel. I am so sorry about the washing machine. I literally think I picked the absolute worst time to start filming. Cut me some slack, guys. I live downtown Vancouver and my apartment's like 500 square feet. Okay, so I thought this was particularly interesting because this person is totally right. And I think about this obviously in the context of my own experience in the coaching industry. I never came into coaching with the intention of like scamming people out of thousands of dollars. I was honestly just incredibly misinformed in terms of like the impact of the work that I was doing. And I think I just lacked the self-awareness to understand that like the stuff I was peddling was BS. And so I think that this individual is completely correct in saying that most of these people aren't malicious. It's like what we see in MLMs. A lot of the people that are in sort of like the downline of an MLM typically aren't really aware of the scammy practices that they are portraying and encouraging when they recruit people into their MLM. I think it's more so once you are like further up in the line and you become more successful, that kind of has the opportunity, because all of a sudden you're like, wait a minute, is what I'm doing legit? Is it actually fair for me to be making, you know, $100,000 a month when the people below me are still struggling financially? And so I just kind of wanted to touch on that because I think that that's a really good point as we kind of move into the context of the content that we're going to talk about today, is that as someone who does not support the coaching industry, I genuinely don't believe that everyone who is a coach has ill intentions. I think that they are just sadly misinformed. So let's continue. They genuinely want to help people. She's a good person under all of the coaching biz bullshit. She just can't understand she's not able to provide the things she claims. Here it is. And for years now, I've seen her go deeper and deeper down that rabbit hole, going higher and higher ticket, even though largely nobody is buying. She keeps explaining it away with, oh, it's the recession, the pandemic. Oh, it's people having mind monkeys. Mind monkeys? I've never heard that before. And can't see the truth. She's struggling to sell, A, because pyramid style coaching largely doesn't work, correct? And she can't prove any of her big claims. So let's talk about this as well. Oftentimes, and again, this is anecdotal evidence from my own experience, what I have seen is exactly this. People will sign up for a coaching program. Maybe they don't get the results they want. And either the coach they're working with or they go and find a new coach will convince them that the reason why they aren't getting the results they want is because they keep purchasing low ticket offers And the solution is to invest more money in a more experienced coach or in a higher touch program. And that's going to be the thing that gets them the results they want. And so I actually came across an Instagram post in my research for this video that explains just that. So I'm going to pull it up. So the title of this carousel says the things I do to make multi six figures this year. And they talk about showing up consistently on social media, hosting weekly events, etc. But the slide that I was really interested in is the one that says investing in long-term mentorship. I'd look for long-term mentors rather than jumping around to a bunch of different programs. Lean into your mentor and get close to them. And so essentially, I think that this really just encourages, again, don't sign up for my monthly membership that's $29 when you could pay me $3,000 a month and work with me one-on-one. And I don't know if that's what this person offers. Again, I'm kind of generalizing, but that's just what I've seen time and time again. Okay, and so now we get into kind of the common themes that we see over and over again that make this so cookie cutter copy paste. If you see her content, it's the typical fear-based pushy sales copy all business and life coaches have. Build the business of your dreams and do it your way. Want to have a six-figure year? Totally achievable if you let me help you. Meanwhile, she's not making six figures a year and is always crying about how stressed she is about her money. Oh, you think you can't hire me for $10,000? You can't not afford to hire me in this economy. If you make six figures this year, it's 10x, 20x, whatever X ROI. Are you crazy not hiring me? Are you gonna keep making excuses or take actions to become the success you deserve? Okay, let's talk about this because I have a few examples that I put together. So the first one is this video right here, which touches on the concept of people who make objections saying that they can't afford whatever it is you're selling. And I've played this in one of my live streams. So if you're like, Danielle, we've seen this before, I apologize, but I know many of you don't watch live stream video. So I figured I would include it anyway.
What does it really mean when clients say, I can't afford your coaching? Well, sometimes it means they literally just can't afford your coaching. But a lot of the time I find that your leads actually can't afford your coaching rates. They're just afraid to invest for one of two reasons. First reason, they don't think your coaching is worth the price that you're selling it at. And that means that you did not relay the value of your coaching very well. A lot of coaches' attempt at selling their online coaching is to just describe the features of the program and then give the price. When in reality, you want to be painting a very vivid picture of how your coaching is going to help people get exactly what they want. That is how you're going to relay the value, because the value of your coaching is not in the stuff that is included. It is in the transformation you are providing. The second reason why people say no to your coaching rates, even though they can technically afford them, is because they are just afraid. Sometimes they're afraid that your program won't actually work for them. Sometimes they're afraid that they won't actually show up for the program for it to work for them. Sometimes they're afraid that your program is not really the answer for them. And until those fears are soothed, they will not be buying from you no matter the price. So both in our sales calls and in our content on social media, we want to be making sure we're relaying the value of our coaching so that people understand it's more than a collection of features. It's literally the answer to their problems. And we want to answer the fears that people have about why the program may not work for them. If we can make people feel safe and certain investing with us, we will be hearing the price objection a lot less.
Again, really just playing into fear here. If you're telling me you can't afford my program, it's because you don't understand how well I can help you. And all I need to do is get better at sales and better at convincing you that you're making the right investment. It's not about ensuring that I provide a money back guarantee in case you don't get what you paid for. No. It's about me being better at convincing you that I have the solution to the problem that you face. Ick. I hate it. Okay, this next one kind of plays more so on the just take action, jump in and don't think about it. In the email, it's the, are you going to keep making excuses or are you finally going to take action? You deserve so much more, la da 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 da. I had to turn the sound off because it has copyrighted music. Okay, so I also copied the caption on this one because I thought it was particularly interesting. It says, the only difference between you and them, they said yes despite the fear. Ready is a decision. It's not a feeling. Whatever it is you're waiting to feel ready to do, it's never going to happen. You have to choose to be ready and move while you feel the fear, because life is moving and time is ticking on and on. No one is waiting. And being a mom does not mean you have to wait. You can do this. Now, this individual in particular is a coach who identifies as a mother mother. Like, she literally has children. She doesn't just say, hi, my name's Danielle and I identify as a mother. I don't know why I said it like that. But I think that in a lot of her content, she really praise on the fact that she is a mom and you're a mom and you could start a business and we could all be business owners because we're all moms and it's so great. And so I find it really interesting that she had to like interject that one line in here that says, and being a mom does not mean you have to wait, because again, she really is trying to appeal to a very particular audience, and I don't like it. I don't like this rhetoric of like, just do it, just jump in, especially for moms, because it's like, I got financial responsibility now. And I know I've brought this up in other videos that I've done, but when I was, a life coach, I didn't have a lot of responsibilities. I didn't have a mortgage. I think my rent at the time was like $800 a month and I was splitting it with my then partner. I didn't have kids. I didn't even have my dog yet. Like, I had no responsibilities beyond making sure that I could come up with $400 a month to pay my rent, plus like groceries and whatever else. But still, my risks were quite small relative to someone who has a family, has children, and people dependent on them. And so I find it really dangerous when people use this kind of rhetoric to convince people to like hire them as their coach and join the business opportunity. And this actually leads me into another one that isn't so much related to the email I received, but just related to this kind of verbiage and like tactics that we see in the online space.
Wow. Crazy. You're crazy, girl.
When someone stays in their 9-to-5 job they hate just for the security, really tone deaf. Again, I've said this in so many of my videos, but I think that this attitude of just quit your job, like it's so foolish of you to stay in a job that's sucking your soul when you could be creating a life you love. But if I quit my job and I can't afford to pay for my bills and my other obligations, that's probably going to put me in a worse situation than having to work a job that I don't like, don't you think? It just doesn't make sense to me. Okay, I had to take a quick break. I don't know if you're familiar with the weather in the Pacific Northwest, but it can go from like raining to blindingly sunny very quickly. And as you can see, maybe the sun came out. I had to try and close the blinds, fix the lighting. We're back. We're trying our best. So I have one more Instagram carousel that we're going to kind of read through together before we move along in this email. Again, this one just really demonstrates, just like this person mentioned in the kind of like examples of the common phrases these coaches use, etc. I wanted to kind of touch on the one that's like, want to have a 6-figure year? I have the secret for you, because this carousel is literally titled, as you'll see on the screen here, here's a big mistake you're likely making on your journey to making 6 figures in your business. Again, really just going to be an example of like the all desirable 6-figure year and how you can unlock the secrets to make it yourself. So the first one says, the main problem I see here is waiting until you've made a certain amount of money to invest in a coach or a mentor for your business, or to invest in it again. Maybe you've had 1 or 2 times before. I know that the investments I have made in my biz on mentors and coaches have made all the difference in making my journey to 6 figures happen faster. So even if you've invested in a coach and you got 0 return on your investment, now is the time to continue to invest again and again and again. My words, not hers. I invested over $45,000 before hitting my first 6 figures in my business. Do you have to invest in a mentor or coach to be successful? No way. Okay, so I'm confused because on the last slide you told me that in order to reach my goals faster, I had to invest, and now you're telling me I don't have to invest, but at the same time on the same slide, you're telling me that you invested almost $50,000 in order to reach that 6-figure mark. So I'm really confused about what it is I'm supposed to be doing here. Also disgusting, and I hate this so much. But if you want to reach your goals faster, have eyes outside of yourself on your business to see your blind spots, so important, and learn strategies and shifts that would take you a lot longer to learn on your own, then yeah, you need to continue to invest in a mentor. Not only have I personally invested thousands on mentors for my business, but every single time I have, my business has quantum leaped. Okay, friends, I have told you this in so many of my videos, but you do not need to pay someone thousands of dollars to receive mentorship. Get outside, network in your community, make friends who do the work that you do or are in a similar line of business, and I guarantee you, you will be able to learn things from those people that will help you to grow your business without having to spend thousands and thousands of dollars. First coach. Hit my first $10,000 month within a little over a month working with her. Second time investing in her, had my first $24,000 group program launch. Second coach. Hit my first $16,000 month and released a lot of shoulds I thought I had to do to be successful as a mother and business owner. Third coach supported me with me as a person behind the business. Supported me with me as a person behind the business. Someone in the comments, let me know what she's talking about. I'm confused. Since then, I've gone on to invest over $25,000 more and worked with more coaches multiple times. How do these people not see that they are being sucked into a scam? Point of all this, if you want to get there faster, learn the lessons faster, become the CEO faster, be able to therefore be the best coach you can be for your own clients faster, invest in the mentor now. Stop waiting to get to a certain point. That's literally one of the whole points of investing in a mentor. Okay, again, I don't need to keep repeating myself, but I disagree. I think that there are so many free alternatives, especially in this day and age with the internet and how interconnected everything is. I mean, I moved all the way across the country, and within 2 months of moving to a new city where I literally knew 2 people who do not work in the same industry as me whatsoever, I was able to build an entire network of people and learn so much from them and grow my own business through that experience. So I think if you put in at least a little bit of effort, you don't need to spend upwards of $10,000, $15,000, $25,000 to learn things that you could learn just from, getting out there and trying to meet people. Okay, and this last slide of hers just really annoys me because, again, she's preying on women. It says, because again, she's preying on mothers, and it just says, a special note for my mamas, you've got to lean into the fact that you can trust yourself with this and let go of any guilt you feel for investing in yourself and your business. Yeah, why bother paying for the needs of your child when you have this desire to start your own business? You might as well just go into debt for your business because, you know what, your kids. Useless. Because that kind of investment is going to lead to you trusting yourself even more and making sure this business becomes everything you want it to be. I hate this so much. I think, again, a lot of moms often are seeking that opportunity to, make money from home, stay home with the kids, et cetera, et cetera. And for you to be encouraging these people to go into debt in order to one day, hopefully, maybe build this massive business that will afford them that opportunity. Really just disgusting. I hate it so much. And I don't think I need to say much more. Okay, back to the email. So this individual just listed all of those common phrases we went over and just says, and all that jazz, and going hard on people in her sales calls. They told me they couldn't afford my X dollar program, but I told them it's a mindset issue. They got to invest in themselves to become successful. Any attempts I've made to reason with her have been met with deflections and rationalizations. The conversation usually goes something like this. I know my program is great and people need it, but how do you really know? Because I worked really hard and I know what I'm doing. But people who bought it didn't make any sales. Well, that's because they didn't give it enough time and didn't believe in themselves enough in the pandemic and the recession. So how can you claim to know it's good when it's not getting results? What are you basing this on? I know what I'm talking about, okay? Dude, where is the proof that your clients can hit 5K or 10K months? Where? How many of them have done it? I know what I'm doing. I just need to sell harder. Guys, what is happening? It's sad to watch, and this woman is neither malicious nor stupid. She's just got the exact personality that the industry preys on, very emotional, heart-centered, and lacking in self-awareness. Again, we addressed this at the beginning of the video, but it's not the belief that all of these coaches are terrible people. It's that they're just misinformed and don't understand the negative impact of the sort of stuff that they're spewing. And this comes from someone who was one of these people not that long ago. She can't see people almost certainly aren't buying because she doesn't look credible. She looks like yet another sleazy business coach making bold claims with zero evidence to back them up, and then using fear and guilt to shame people into buying, all in the name of, but it's my duty to help them. I'm serving people by making sure that they buy. How is taking people's money and offering no ROI helping? Who knows? Maybe I have mindset issues too. You and me both, my friend. It's an absolute clusterfuck. I don't know if I should laugh or cry about it, but in the meantime, maybe if you include this in a video, people like her might get a reality check. I would love it if these people watched this video and kind of realized and had this awakening that what they were doing doesn't make sense, but I don't think it's going to happen. I remember even when I was, a coach, I was having a conversation with a close friend of mine, and she had kind of let me know what a few of our like acquaintances, so closer friends of hers that I knew, were saying about my business. And I remember being so defensive and deflective towards the work that I was doing and just saying like, they don't get it, they don't understand, they don't know the impact that I'm making, and blah, 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 blah. I think that when you are a coach and you are sort of indoctrinated into this climate of consistently needing to, you know, improve yourself and invest in yourself and surround yourself with people who get it, it can be really hard to have that sort of third-party perspective to realize like, hey, maybe what I'm doing is kind of sketchy and sleazy. And so I think all you can really do is hope that one day maybe this individual wakes up and realizes that the work that they are doing isn't actually creating the positive impact that they've convinced themselves it is. But in the meantime, I'll be here doing my work, sharing these stories, and I'm so thankful that you trusted me enough to submit this to me. Again, if you are watching this video and you have a story you want to submit, my email is linked in the description of this episode. That's going to be it for this video. I have a full scam playlist linked right here. If you haven't watched it yet, be sure to give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!